Here's a question I get asked frequently. How do I help my husband? He's so depressed. I'm always the positive one, and he is such a drag. Now, here's the crazy thing. This wife might actually be inviting that negativity with her over positivity. One really fascinating aspect of relationships is how we sometimes create a dynamic that fuels the opposite of what we're trying to create. So an easy example of this is a girl who so badly wants attention from her crush that she's overbearing. She tries so hard to get close by writing notes and sitting with him and pushing for closeness that he reacts by pushing her away. She wanted closeness, but her overbearing attempts ended up getting the exact opposite reaction from him. In our family systems, this is called homeostasis. This means the inherent nature of systems is that they like to remain balanced or stable. They resist change, and after something changes, they try to revert back to the old status quickly. If that fails, they seek a new balance. So imagine oil and water in a bottle. When things are still, they're separated. And when you shake them up, they blend together briefly. So this is like someone who learn some new skills or techniques to manage their stress or depression. But oil and water want to be separate, so they revert back to their old balance. Oil on top, water on bottom. In a family, when someone tries to change their behaviors, there's going to be some resistance. So, for example, someone who has traditionally been a people pleaser and they've always just kind of gone along with everything, if they go to therapy and they start learning to express their wants or to speak up for themselves, people in the family are going to resist them by acting like they're being very rude or wondering what's happened or confronting them and pushing back on their attempts to assert themselves. So the family seeks that old balance, that old status quo that they were used to, even if it's unhealthy. In order to create a lasting change with oil and water, you've got to add a homogenizer, something that helps things retain a new balance. So if you add a homogenizer like dish soap, then the oil and water, when shaken up, create a new balance. They are now blended together and they'll stay that way. And so the change process in families often requires a homogenizer. It requires something that helps the new balance stay working. And sometimes that's just time, so sticking with those new behaviors for a length of time. And sometimes that's helping other people meet the function and the needs of those old behaviors in a new way. And, family therapy is intended to help shift that balance in the family, shift that status quo to something new and more functional. So what does this mean? People inherently resist change, and they inherently seek balance. So some familiar examples are, sometimes people seek balance by recreating the environment they grew up in, because that's what feels natural and normal for them. I mean, how many people have you heard say, "I'm turning into my mom"?